Welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the new Artisan Xcellerator. This is a Mike Snody design. Comes in at $98. And this one's like on that borderline of CJRB Artisan, CJRB being their cheaper brand. A lot of times when you see the titanium clips, that's whenever they brand it as Artisan. And there is a little bit more degree of fit and finish into these, I've noticed. We have a pretty beastly knife here. You have an overall length of 9 inches. So this thing should fit your large, extra large hands just fine. This beautiful Harpoon blade of AR RPM 9 steel on this one is coated. You can also get one that is in stone washed as well with, I think, a green canvas micarta scales. The blade's coming in at 3.89 inches. So you're going to have a lot of cutting edge to do some work. As you can see, we finished the testing on this one. I definitely think this would make a great work knife for just everyday carry, depending on how big and heavy you like to carry your knives. This one has a flat grind on it, pretty beefy stock at 0.14, and it's coming in at like 21 to 24 thousandths behind the edge. So it's not going to be a super slicer. However, whenever Artisan sends out any of the knives I've ever gotten from Artisan, they came ridiculously sharp, and their proprietary AR RPM 9 stainless steel is a pretty solid choice for a budget offering. I actually like the steel because it's easy to sharpen, easy to maintain, strops up well, and gets very, very sticky sharp. And I found for the most part this one sliced well, especially in hand slicing because you have that pretty deep belly. And then what I also noticed is whenever I was cutting down on a flat cutting surface, and like I say, a pinch grip like this, that extra mass of that wider blade makes it a lot easier to push through materials. And it did well on just about everything. The only thing that it kind of struggled is getting started into, like, say, the thicker tubing, because that kind of collapses behind the edge. And then whenever I was cutting through the dense cardboard, whenever I got to full thickness, you kind of feel it wedging through there. But it can definitely handle it as long as you keep the blade nice and sharp. And like I said, the RPM 9 is good at holding a pretty good edge. As you can see, you have choil here. You have like 3 little humps for different hand grips, including this forward portion right here. And I noticed whenever I was doing the cutting, especially whenever I was pushing into the wood, if I was choked back, it was more comfortable. However, I didn't have as much control over that blade because when you're pushing hard, it wants to pull the blade down, and it's a little bit thinner in this area. So I tend to come up on this choke up area, and then you have that flat spot where the Harpoon drops up and goes up right there, nice and comfortable. Now, the only thing I did notice as well is when I'm pushing hard, the very top of this lock bar, hopefully you can see that point right there, is kind of sharp. And depending on how I was holding it and if I was pushing through or not, I could feel that coming in contact with my finger whenever it kind of like push into there. Wasn't terrible. I was able to kind of maneuver around it for the most part, but I definitely felt like I had the most power all the way up there in the front like that. So that was my go-to spot whenever I was doing in-hand cutting. Pretty far from that actual edge if you're choked back right here. Whenever I'm holding the knife like this in the saber grip, my pinky falls in this little last choil area, or thumb or scale groove, whatever you want to call it. The scales are nice and contoured. These are black canvas on here. Like I said, the other ones I think are green canvas. They have a little bit of the fabric showing, so it does offer some grip. Nice tactile grip there. And I had no hot spots to speak of besides that one little point right there on the lock. I like the way they softened all the edges to the scales. Got a nice little pop of color with that pivot ring right there. And I really like the Snody logoed pocket clip. And the clip is nice and rounded, slightly rounded over on the top, so it's comfortable in hand. I didn't feel the clip at all during testing. You got decent spring to it, and I found it held the knife well. It is tip up, right hand carry only, unfortunately. Now this is a pretty hefty knife, so you're definitely gonna know you have something in the pocket, but with your jeans, say jeans on or something, it's fine. That's what you have sticking out of the pocket, and it does kind of flare out right here, so if you keep other stuff in your pocket right here, you're not gonna have as much room. You have, it looks like a titanium anodized backspacer. If that's not right, I'll put it up on the screen. You have a hidden lanyard post right there. Excellent. Let's open it up. Take a look at the inside. There's no internal milling. I think they're trying to keep that strength as much as possible. You do have a massive stop pin. Why don't we see what it weighs? First in grams. 169.9 or 170 grams or 5.996, so we'll call that 6 ounces. The deployment and action on the knife are really fidgety, easy reverse flick, and of course it's going to be a drop shut because you have that massive blade. You could easily thumb flick it, thumb roll it. Left-handed, I can thumb flick it and I can thumb roll it. Yeah, it's very easy, and it's chamfered around there, so it's not, sharp or anything, but it's not slippery either. Your hardware is T8 for the pivot, and unfortunately, they put T6 for the body screws and the clip screws. With such a big knife, they definitely don't understand why they didn't at least have T8 here. The lockup on my knife is rock solid, no side to side, no up and down. Lockup on mine sitting at around 40%. Good access to the lock bar because it is cut out. Has a nice chamfer there to soften it. Very easy to get there. Love that. The centering on mine is absolutely perfect. Here it is next to the Ontario Rat 1 and the Kaiser Roach. Cold Steel Recon 1 and the Vosteed Gator. Off-grid knife Stinger XL and the Spyderco Enduro. My only real complaints with the knife, I wish I would have extended the sharpening choil a little bit. The coating didn't handle the use that much. You can see it starting to rub off here. And it would have been nice to have it tipped for left-handed carry as well, so it didn't seclude those people. And like I said, you have a minor hot spot from the top of that lock bar if you go to choke up. But other than that, I enjoyed the knife. I've been carrying it quite often, and I'm not one who usually carries big beefy knives like this, but I think it looks cool. The action is really nice, and it's fairly comfortable in hand. I think it's a pretty cool design by the great Mike Snody, and it's cool to see him do a collaboration with Artisan. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one. Holla, holla, dollar, dollar. Peace, peace.